is this writing center?
Yes. Are you Nicole?
Yes.
Hi, Nicole. I'm Valarie. I'm actually going to be your tutor today.
Oh, okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right. Let's have a seat and let's get started.
Okay.
All right. What are we working on today?
Oh, okay. So I just got an assignment back from one of my professors, and I really don't understand what I did wrong. She's giving us a chance to redo it, and she says we need to edit and revise, and I honestly don't know where to start.
Okay. You say you don't know where to start. Are you having difficulties understanding the difference between editing and revising?
Yes.
Do you have any instructions with you about the assignment?
Yes. It's supposed to be 6 to 7 pages on an issue about education. I chose bilingual education, but in addition, we also have to offer a counterclaim, strong thesis, and secondary sources.
All right. And may I look at some of the comments that your professor left?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. We have issues with word choice, subject-verb agreement, thesis too vague, why isn't important, be specific, comma usage, and it looks like you're missing your opposing argument.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to look at the writer's reference here, and we're going to identify when to edit and when to revise, okay?
Okay.
All right. Revision is rarely a one-step process. Instead, it focuses on global matters such as focus, purpose, organization, content, and the overall strategy. When readers point out that your thesis is unclear, the comment often signals that they have a hard time identifying your essay's main point. So that's one of the things we're going to look for. Another one of your issues was that you're not specific enough. When readers say that you need to be specific, the comment often signals that you could strengthen your writing with additional details. So these are issues that we're going to look at. We're going to take a look at your introduction first, and we're going to see ways that we could revise it to meet the requirements for your rewrite, okay?
Okay.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and start by reading the introduction out loud, okay?
Okay.
And while you read, I'm just going to take a few notes, okay?
Okay.
All right.
In many public schools throughout the United States, the topic of bilingual education is a heated debate that many people have a lot to say about. Some school districts are hesitant to include a second language, while other districts have found ways to incorporate another language. And this is important with benefiting the school overall performance. Focus
is a major step in the revision process. During this step, the student should check to see if the thesis is clear. For this particular essay, the thesis should be a statement that takes a position on a debatable topic. The student should always ask his or herself, where is the thesis? In most essays, the thesis statement comes at the end of the introduction. I have identified this sentence to be the thesis. Bilingual education is important in public education. This is too vague. It leaves too many unanswered questions, like who is bilingual education important for, and in what ways is it important? The statement, according to the writer's reference, should be specific. The statement can be easily revised by answering the questions. As you can notice, this sentence has been changed to be more specific. Bilingual education is important because it helps exercise the student's mind. Revision is also a time to get rid of the clutter. This clutter may consist of repetitive ideas or an undeveloped idea, meaning that a detailed discussion is not present. If we examine the sentence before the thesis, we learn that it is very similar. This is an example of having repetitive ideas. This idea can simply be erased. I've discussed issues with revision that is present in the introduction of the student's paper. However, revision has several other important steps that aren't present here. The writer's reference offers a checklist for global revision. Here are some of the key points. Purpose and audience, basically asking, Does the draft address a question, a problem, or an issue that the reader care about? Is the draft appropriate for its audience? Organization and paragraphing are ideas presented in a logical order. Are any paragraphs too long or too short for the essay's reading? Content, is the supporting material relevant and persuasive? Or point of view, is the dominant point of view first person, second person, or third person?
Okay, so do you feel more comfortable about revision now?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's move right along to editing.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to refer back to the writer's reference, okay?
All right.
Okay, editing, unlike revision, focus more on improvements in sentence structure, word choice, grammar, punctuation, and mechanics. All of these are what we call lower order of concerns, unlike revision, which focuses on the bigger things, the thesis, your content, your organization. These are little things that we can tweak reviewing each sentence individually, okay?
The following list is composed of different steps of editing. Punctuation, checking for commas and periods. Grammar, this can cover everything from making sure you're using the word correctly or even subject-verb agreement. Spelling, capitalization, and verb tense. This is tricky when in verb tense. If we highlight the first sentence, we can see that in many public schools throughout the United States is an introductory clause. A comma will be needed after the United States. Here we have an issue with subject-verb agreement. Districts is plural, but is singular. This should be are. If you are unsure if the subject and verb agree, the best thing to do is to first identify the subject of the sentence and underline it. Then identify the verb and bold it. And then compare the two. If the subject is plural, then the verb should be plural. If the subject is singular, then the verb should be singular. Like revision, editing takes time, patience, and practice. It is important to check your pattern of errors with the lower order of concerns. For example, if you notice that you're having trouble with subject-verb agreement once or twice early on in the essay, chances are the problem is going to come up again. And finally, it is important that you give yourself time to completely go through both the steps for revision and the steps for editing.
So yeah, you definitely want to edit this. Oh, we only have a few minutes left, actually. Do you have any final questions about either editing or revising that you want me to look over?
No, actually I don't understand the difference between them a lot better now.
Great. Remember that revision is always going to be your higher order of concerns. This is going to be your purpose, your audience, your focus, organization, the point of view, the content, all of that stuff. Whereas your editing is focusing mostly on your lower order concerns, punctuation, grammar, mechanics, the smaller stuff, okay?
Okay.
All right, so you need to continue to look through your paper, and you talked that you had issues with subject-verb agreement. Like I said, an easy way to fix that is to notice what you're doing wrong. And an easy way to do that is to underline your subject once, your verb twice, and make sure that they agree in number. We talked about that, remember? Okay, and your thesis sounds solid. It meets the requirement of the instructions for the rewrites. So just keep doing what we worked on. Go over your checklist, your global checklist. Keep reviewing it.
All right.
And if you have any further questions, comments, concerns, feel free to make another appointment with us, okay? Well, thanks for visiting the Writing Center. And good luck on your finals.
Thank you.
Have a good day.